Welcome to week 7 of the pregnancy vlog. I'm getting a bit confused on weeks and stuff at the moment. I told someone the other day that I was going for a 6-week scan, which was my 7-week scan. Oh gosh, I'm so confused. I find it hard enough anyway to focus. I have fairly blonde moments quite regularly, but it seems to be a lot worse at the moment. So welcome to week 7 of the pregnancy vlog. So obviously we've got some news to update you from what has happened in the past week. We did say, or I said in the previous one, that we would be going to the early pregnancy clinic the Wednesday that's just gone. So obviously that has now happened. So I'll start off with that. It was very exciting. It was a weird feeling actually, because I think we were both excited and nervous. I was less worried about there being any problems since I've been doing the digital tests, but it was still, you wanted to know for sure really. And also when we went to see the doctor, they didn't actually do a test there because they said that the tests that they do are just as good as the home pregnancy ones. So we hadn't actually had it officially confirmed by a medical person, if that makes sense. Obviously I'd done however many tests I've done, but to have an actual medical person actually say you're pregnant, at least for me, was quite exciting. So we had an appointment quite early in the morning, and that was good actually. You have to go with a full bladder, so I had to drink a pint of water before we went, and by the time we got there it wasn't too bad, but it did seem like we had to wait for ages, and by the time we actually went in to the scan I was absolutely bursting to go for a wee. I was a bit worried about how hard they press as well, because I was like, I can't hold this much longer, but they don't actually press that hard. We saw the nurse before we actually went into the scan, and I went through again with her what had actually happened and how I'd actually got referred to them. The doctor had written out this long letter, but the writing was about this big, so she couldn't really read what it said. So I told her all the stories, and she said that she asked if there was any bleeding, and I said no, and she said, oh well, probably wind, but we'll scan you just to make sure. And I was like, are you kidding me? The pain is unbearable. I mean, before I went on the pill, I'd had painful periods. So, I mean, I'm not a stranger to tummy cramps. I had some really, really painful periods before, I don't know, however many years ago. And so I don't consider myself a wimp in that side of it, but these pains were bad. The worst pains I've had. So I can't imagine how something like that could just be caused by wind. But she said apparently it can be very painful, and your body just does weird stuff when you're pregnant. So I was like, okay. So we went into the scan, and we did say that we would try and take in the camera with us, but unfortunately when we got there's signs everywhere saying you can't take in any video or camera equipment. We're not sure why actually, because we know that when you actually have the main scans, you do have to pay a small amount for the photos. So Aidan wondered if it's perhaps because they'd rather you pay them for the to get the footage or whatever, but I'm not sure. I think maybe it's just so it doesn't disrupt them really. But so unfortunately we couldn't take in the video. Aidan did manage to slyly take a couple of photos on his phone. I think he was pretending to email or something. because I didn't have any idea until afterwards. So we've got a couple of photos. Obviously, not brilliant. It's just more of actually me being there at the scan. But what he's going to do is add that to the end of this vlog so you can have a look. So they put the cold jelly on your belly and then put on the little scanner, and didn't take very long before she actually found it. And then they zoom in. Obviously it's very tiny at the moment, but they zoomed in and we could see it on the screen, which was amazing. It's just basically a bit of a blob at the moment because it's still very small, but it's like jelly bean sized, and she zoomed in and you could see his little heart beating, which was amazing. Just like this little thing in the middle going up and down, so cute. I'm calling it, I think everyone's sort of referring to it as a him at the moment. Obviously we don't know, but until proven otherwise, it'll be called him. So we saw his little heart beating, and then they had a look around to check everything else, and they don't actually officially date the baby until your 12-week scan, but they do actually measure it while you're there just to check on the progress. So although you don't get an official date, they do sort of estimate it, and they were estimating it at 7 weeks and 2 days, which was actually 2 days more than my date. So we'll see again at the 12-week one when they officially date it what happens then. They did say that it's really hard to get an accurate date at that stage, just because it's so small. So everything is normal, everything is as it should be. He's the right size, his little heart's beating, so we were so excited, and I was so happy after that, such relief. And to actually see him, it's sort of like a bonus scan really, so if I had to go through the pain to get that, I reckon that's alright. We are thinking that any time now I should be hearing again from the midwife, and then what she will do is make an appointment to come round to the house, and then I think go through like all your medical history and all that sort of stuff, and then it'll be through the midwife that she'll make an appointment for the booking in scan, which is what they call the 12-week one. I think it actually happens between 10 and 12 weeks, but we'll see what happens there. And Aidan is planning on taking the day off work, and then hopefully it'll be a day that I'm not at work as well, or take a day off. So then we can go for the scan and we can do something nice as well afterwards. We also worked out, because it's the 20-week scan that you get to know the gender, or hopefully know the gender, and we worked out that that's the week before Christmas. So that I think also really exciting, because hopefully we'll know for Christmas what it is, which I think is amazing. So that obviously is our big news. And as I said, such a relief and really lovely. So since then we have announced it to a few more of our family members, and that afternoon I went out for lunch with my mum and dad because we hadn't told them yet, and I broke the news to them. Now we did get that on camera, which we've got a separate video uploaded, so go and have a look at that if you haven't already. I think shocked is a fair way to put it, but they're really happy. I think they're getting quite excited now. And then we've also told Aidan's brother and his grandfather, and that we have decided will be it for now. We've told like the close family, and then once we've had the 12-week scan, we'll announce it to everybody else, and it'll be general news amongst our friends and family then. Whether someone lets it slip before then, I don't know, but hopefully it's not too much longer now. It's going really fast actually. So symptoms this week, probably the main one is tiredness. I mean, I thought last week I was tired, but I've been so tired this past week. I hope it doesn't get worse, because I'll just be in bed all the time, I think. It It was okay at the start of the week, and then I guess baby's been doing some major growing for the later half of the week, because Thursday afternoon I felt the worst that I've felt so far, probably about 2 or 3 o'clock. I work from home on Thursdays, so I had to force myself to finish the orders that I was doing. I make flowers, so I had to force myself to finish those, and then I just had to go to bed and lie down for an hour because I just felt so terrible. It tends to, the tiredness is worse as the day goes on. The mornings I'm not too bad, but by mid-afternoon I'm knackered. And then that's also coupled now with nausea. I haven't quite actually been sick yet, but I don't think it's far off. And the nausea has definitely got worse. I know that's a good sign though, because it's a sign it's the hormones that cause that, so that's a good sign. But obviously doesn't feel too great. A lot of food is making me feel really sick now, especially chicken. I think I did say that last week, but it's definitely worse now. Aidan had some chicken for lunch today. Oh, I was almost thrown up. It's disgusting. I've actually gone off most meat now, but I have read that that's actually quite common, although it does make it fairly tricky because I don't eat vegetables. Neither of us eat vegetables, so don't blame me, it's both of us. I don't eat vegetables, and now I don't like meat. It's making it quite tricky to actually find foods to eat. But I do find that if I do force myself to eat something small, it does actually help with the nausea. So it is good if you are suffering from nausea, do try and eat something quite small, but just keep your stomach so it's not empty, I think, is the main thing. And then also, I'm quite bloated again. It did actually go away for a week or so, but it's, and again, as the day goes on, it gets worse. In the mornings it's fine. It's particularly at work, because obviously I can't wear my joggy bottoms to work. And so in the morning it's fine in my trousers and my jeans, but by the afternoon they're quite uncomfortable and I have to sit there with the button undone. So what we've actually done, it's a little bit early for maternity clothes, I know, but we've actually found like some early stage maternity jeans. So they just have a stretchy band rather than the actual material to cover your bump, but just a stretchy band, so it's just an elasticated pair of jeans. So I'm going to use those for work, and hopefully that'll be a bit more comfortable. So that is about it for this week. I don't know, as I said, I hope the tiredness doesn't get any worse, because I don't know what will happen then, but I do think it's supposed to get better after the 12 weeks, so not too much longer to go. If we do hear from the midwife, then hopefully I can update you next week. And of course, please do subscribe and thumbs up if you want to keep watching, and I'll see you next week.